Hello. Sorry, let me just close the trades. I'm not doing trades. I was just wondering how many picks and where the picks were. So I'm Zach Rogers. We are doing the 7 rounds of the Cincinnati Bengals today. Before we start, I'll just give you a brief idea of the plan that I'm going in with. I think Chase or Pitts is the first choice at number 5. If there's a quarterback like Trey Lance, then I will trade down, depending on what's available. I then think offensive tackle, round 2. I'm thinking Cosme, Liam Eichenberg, as my main target there. If we have a look. And then if they're not there, then hope Christensen drops to the 3rd round. I'm then looking at cornerback. I'm looking at Melifelu or Tyson Campbell or Asante Samuel, who I have as a 1st round pick. Offensive interior is another place that I'm looking at. I'll be looking at, if we look at what picks we have, so that we're looking at 4th round here. So we'll just see who drops. I'm not going to aim anything for 4th round onwards. I would like to look at linebacker. I think linebacker for me, day 3, I'm looking at Dylan Moses, 1st round type. Of course, not going 1st round these days. So we'll just see plans of him, but he's my target just because he had day 1 hype. There's a reason why I have day 1 hype. He's a 5-star recruit as well. And yeah, there's not much more else to say. If we look at interior defensive line, Marvin Wilson is another one that I'm potentially looking at. McNeil, of course, has got hit. Lots of people love. One of the youngest guys in the draft. So we'll also look out for him on round 4. I'll then be looking at I think Felton, Cade Johnson. Myron Rogers is predicted to go really high by TDN, so we're not going to look at him. But that sort of player, where you could probably get away with them having as a receiving back. So let's start. All normal here. So if I'm the Bengals, I'd rather have pick 15 and next year's 1st. So I think that's a good place to start. Swell has gone off the board at number 4. So that means Trey Lance is there. As you can see, we get the 1st round next year. Can we move up that to 2nd? Let's hope so. They accept. If they don't pick Trey Lance, I will restart it because I will get annoyed. They do take him, thank God. This is an interesting proposition. We're now in 1st and a 2nd, 1st, 2nd, and a 4th, 1st and 2nd, and a 5th. I think the Bucks is the better deal, but let's see who's there. So, of course, we didn't take Jamar Chase. Interesting picks went to the Cowboys. But let's have a look. We're not after QB. We're not after running back. We are interested in wide receiver. But I'm not a big enough fan of either of them to go yes over the trade. Cosme and Eichenberg, who we're looking at in the 2nd round. Vera Tucker. Again, I'm not going to take him yet. Barmore. I am actually tempted by Barmore. Parsons. I'm not someone that probably wants Parsons with his issues off the field. So let's not worry about that too much at the moment. So I think the option is trade down. Let me just create the stream. Okay, so Farley is another interesting one. Again, am I a big enough fan of Farley to go somewhere else, especially when, if I look, they got Awuzie, who I don't really rate, and they got Trey Waynes, who again I don't really rate. I'd definitely be going Farley if I wasn't going it, but I think if you're trading down, it's because they're sending a lot for it. So let's do it. Wonder who they take. They took Devontae Smith. Interesting. Now, I'd never trade up, so even though Barmore was there, he was tempting. Again, I'm not going to trade up. It's interesting. I think I'd rather pick, though. I want... Okay, Rondo Moore is there. I think, let me just look at the tackles. Got 2 tackles, 2, 4, 6, 7 picks, and I've got another one coming up. I think getting Rondo Moore is the way to go. So let's pick him. Could do that, but I'm not. Oh, that'd be tempting, but I'm not. No. Okay, so I am going to go Cosme. I think he's really underrated. I think he could be a potential first-round pick. Vera Tucker was quite interesting. I was tempted, but I have him and Cosme very close. So I thought I'd rather get the person that I'd Rondo Moore as my wide receiver 1 going into the year. Of course, with injuries, he dropped down. And Cosme is going to be my second choice. If you look now, I'm not going to trade up for that pick. I'm not going to go there. If you look now, so wide receiver I've ticked off, offensive tackle I've ticked off. Now this is a free range pick. So I think, as always, I will just go through him. But I think Asante Samuel will probably be the pick that I'm looking at. There's Brown, who I do like, but I'm not sure. We've already got our offensive tackle. Not a fan of going interior line just yet, unless it's a superstar. Nick Bolton is tempting, given the struggles that we have. But as I said, I've lined up Dylan Moses as our target. I think Asante Samuel Jr. is the right pick here. When you have so many picks, they do try and get you to trade up, but I am not interested. So we just ticked off our cornerback need. So now we are potentially looking at interior. That is our next need. Linebackers, the other. So let's just look at linebackers. Okay. I was looking at, where is he? Do I have him rated there? I do. He went in the first round for the Packers. Interesting. So Gregory Rousseau, again, interesting choice. Not going to go running back. If we look at the wide receivers, they've got Higgins on one outside, Rondell Moore on the other, and Tyler Boyd in the slot. I think that's probably good enough. If you think Cosme could probably start interior to begin with. So that probably ticks off the interior for the moment. Again, interior probably in the next round of picks. Melifay is interesting. I think we're in an interesting point here where I don't really have anyone that I want to go out and get. But what I will do is I wasn't going to look at them at the beginning. They do have a need at tight end. Given I have the extra pick, I think the Penn State tight end, Pat Fairmouth, awful pronunciation. I think he can start from the beginning. As I say, he's the prototype old-fashioned tight end that can be a blocker. And that's something that I actually value. So let's go for him. And then this is the other pick. So yeah, I forgot we had this pick. So lots of picks around here. Again, let's just go through them. No one I really want here yet. We've just looked at tight ends. And got one. Walker Little's interesting, but I'm not sure I want to go in yet. As I said, I don't like the Bengals corners, Awuzie and Trey Waynes. So I know they've both got them recently, but I think cornerbacks are such an important position. So take the gamble on it. These two could easily be the starters in the next couple of years. So let's do it. So again, we are not trading up. So let's just start from the beginning. Carl Trask is there. Not sure he's a need. So running back, no. Wide receiver, tempting, but I don't think yet. I think there's a lot of sleepers out there that I really like this year. We've already got a tight end. Okay, so for me, Walker Little. And McNeil. And we did miss out on Dylan Moses, which is a bit annoying, but not the end of the world. I'm not the biggest fan of linebackers anyway. We've also got Washington, but they do have Von Bell and Jesse Bates, who had great seasons. Jesse Bates especially. So I think in the game of, do I take the young upcoming defensive interior player, or do I take potential offensive tackle? I take the potential offensive tackle. Walker Little, mainly because he had first round hype. Yes, he's not played in basically 2 years, but that's not stopping me from taking him. We've also got a pick now. Let's see if the other guy's there. He is there. McNeil. Perfect. When you forget about the extra pick, it's lovely. So we've got both of them. I'd probably gone another way around if I knew that, if I remembered I'd double pick. So I'm not sure how many more picks we have. Let's just check. Okay, we have quite a few more picks. That's good. More picks the better, especially in when you're not sure about the draft. As no one is, again, you will notice I just systematically go throughout. I know they have Felton as a wide receiver. That's why I was looking at the wrong place, just to make sure he's still there. He is. So I think it's a bit too early to go for placement slots. Let's just tick off that we have a interior and we have our defensive interior and our offensive interior. No one that particularly stands out here for me. You'll see this again. First round hype, isn't going to get there. Didn't play as well as he should have this year, but that doesn't matter because he has that potential. Worst comes to worst, he's a slot/safety. So I think this is where I'm going to start throwing darts at wide receiver. Yes, they've got Tyler Boyd, but they've not got really any backups anymore. Oh, sorry, dropped my pen. They've not really got any backups, so I'm going to start taking darts. If you've watched any of my drafts, I do take a lot of darts, so I will probably throw a lot of darts at them at the moment. Now, one of the big moves this offseason was the fact that they released Gino Bernard. So I'm going to replace Gino Bernard with Demetric Felton. Absolutely love him. Think he can be a running back full time. Thinking like Antonio Gibson, not much experience, but can play in the slot. Similarly, it's why I love Mario Rogers, wide receiver, running back, can do both, creates mismatches. Tom Brady made the point about different numbers and the mismatches and confusion that will cause. Having someone that can not only play running back, but wide receiver is a big thing for me. Let's just check that I've not missed anyone obvious before. I would go Wild Goose, not just because of the name, I think, and because he's Wisconsin, but I think he's got high ceiling, especially for day 3. But we did pick Asante Samuel and Menifee and Sean Wade, so probably not. That said, we could still do that. So, yeah, actually, I think I am going to go Wild Goose. Full developmental pick there, but why not? Especially with the amount of wide receivers I love. So I think I'm going to go Jalen Arden. Next pick. Again, gadget player. I think Zach Taylor can get the best out of him. Coming from McVay's coaching tree, which is, of course, part of the Mike Shanahan coaching tree, which is all about confusion, and I think he'd be a great player, as well as Felton in that scheme. Now, again, I systematically go for them all just to make sure. But I'm not sure there's anyone here that I'm just like, yes, I need. As we see, we've got 2 tackles. One will probably play interior, or we'd move Jonah Williams interior long term. I like Cornell Powell, but I don't think you need him with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd there, as well as now Rondell Moore, Felton, and Arden. So let's scroll down the wide receivers. Let's see if he's still there. He is not. Let's see where he went. Here we go, went 260. That'd be why. So I think, this is a big gamble. Lots of people don't think he's good on tape, but he went to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's well known for being good at building offensive lines. I'm just taking a gamble on day 7. I think he has a decent high ceiling, even if he has no floor at all. Well worth it. So let's go through the picks. So Rondell Moore at 32. Of course, we traded down several times. Just because I thought, why not? Change it up a bit. Have a fun mock. Cosme, who was our target anyway, as I mentioned. Sante Samuel, who I absolutely love. As a Packers fan, pick 29. Samuel, give it to me now. Pat Fairmouth. Wasn't planning on it, but I think he was good value there. Into the second, as I said, they've got a tight end issue in Cincinnati, and he's not this modern tight end. He's the old-fashioned. He can do it all. He can block. He can also be a receiver. He won't be the best receiver, but the fact he can block will create mismatches in its own right. Melifonu, who I'm not even going to try and pronounce the first name. Again, taking a gamble. Got the extra picks from trading down. I think he could be the real deal. Big gamble, of course, but he has the traits that people like, and he could go much higher than that, to be honest, in the actual draft. Walker Little, my favourite sleeper in the draft. Stanford played very well when he did play over 2 years ago now. He then, of course, got injured 2 seasons ago, opted out due to COVID this year, which I think is fair enough. He was rumoured to be a day 1 prospect a couple of years ago. He dropped because he didn't play. Bargain. McNeil, as I mentioned when I was comparing him and Walker Little, McNeil is one of the youngest guys in the draft. Played very well. And lots of people have him as a day 2 prospect, even second round. I wouldn't be shocked if he is the second defensive interior guy in the draft, just because there's not the defensive interior class is weak. Now, continuing on our Walker Little, Sean Wade's the next guy of the former rumoured first round pick guys, dropping down because he's not that good or didn't produce in college. Big gamble, doesn't pay off, drop him, have him as a backup. He's not going to be playing on the outside, and he can probably slot in the slot corner, the nickelback, to start off with. Felton, as I mentioned, one of my favourite prospects, slot wide receiver, running back, mismatch player. That's the dream. I know they paid Mixon a lot. Not going to get into running backs paying that, but I think Felton could be the best third down back in the draft. Wild Geese, another gamble. I know it's the fourth cornerback. But 190, I wasn't going to say no. The other thing about Sean Wade is he could potentially be a full-time safety. Then Jalen Arden, again, trying to look at mismatches, gadget player. Even if he is only a gadget player in the slot, then I know a lot of people love him, and I'm one of those. Then Cole Van Leyen didn't produce as well as I hoped, but I think he has the ceiling, and the ceiling is what matters, especially at 235, let alone anywhere in day 3 where it's just that ceiling. If he's awful, you can just cut him. As simple as that. Let's go through the trades. So, of course, Swell went number 4, which meant number 5 was a team that needed to trade up for a quarterback. The Patriots were offering a first, a second, and a fourth, as well as next year's first. I then traded the pick 15 to the Buccaneers for their first, their second, and their fourth. So Trey Lance, basically it's Trey Lance for Asante Samuel, McNeil, Rondell Moore, Pat Vermuth, and Sean Wade. And I'll take that any day of the week over, even over Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. So, yeah, it's fun. I don't think the Bengals will do it. The Bengals should take Chase Young if they do not trade, as I suspect 4 picks will be quarterbacks before them, even if it is not the Falcons and it is a different team. But if we just go back to finish it off so people can have a final look. Yeah, so I've been your host and your drafter. I'm Zach Rogers. We will be doing another one even, I believe, tomorrow, which will be the Ravens. Of course, the Ravens traded Orlando Brown, got pick 31. Go have a look at who their computer picked him for. Holland. Oh, interesting. I'd have not done that. But very interesting draft. I'll go back to here. I got a bit distracted. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm very interested in your feedback.